Welcome to the Vinny Rock Podcast.
I took the blows and did it my way.
It's time. The Vinny Rock Podcast. What's up, y'all? It's the Vinny Rock Podcast. I just got this new Apollo twin I'm working with. I'm probably going to be doing the podcast on this from now on. If I have someone in the studio, I'm doing it myself. Either fucking way. Before we get to the podcast, today we have a buddy of mine, Zeke, man. He is, how do you say? We've been in the circle for a while. I've ran into him several times, but his company is now sponsoring the podcast. It's called Modern Gun School. You can check him out on Instagram at Modern Gun School, or you can go to www.MGS.edu. They do take the GI Bill. They do take the the Voc rehab program, and you can do it from home. It's all remote. You can become a gunsmith from home, fully accredited. Pretty fucking awesome. Just wanted to let you guys know. I'm going to have him on. He's going to talk more about that later. But let's get to the other sponsors of the podcast. Core Medical Group. Oh, yeah. Telemedicine, baby. We're in a new era here with this coronavirus. It's changed some things. Now you guys can go get evaluated by doctors online. Hit up Core Medical Group. Go get your blood work done. They're going to hook you up with some good deals right now this month. Hit them up now. Core Medical Group. It's testosterone replacement therapy. If you're listening to this and you're a dude and you're not on testosterone, I would recommend that you go get your blood work and make sure that you don't need to be on testosterone. But that's just me. I'm always trying to make sure all the goods are still good. Beyond Clothing, you guys, I keep saying it. Quality shit. They got some new pants. I just ordered some. I'm excited for them to get in. It is beyondclothing.com. Hit them up. Promo code ROCCO. You already know. Get your 10% off whenever you're ordering something from that place. 10% is pretty significant. Hit them up. Beyond Clothing. Willie Pete's Chocolates. Still doing his thing. Working hard during the coronavirus craziness. You guys help a brother out. Go buy some chocolates from him at williepeteschocolates.com. Perseverance Survival, home of the original Whoopee hoodie, you already know, and Ranger panties. I'm falling more in love with the Ranger panties than the Whoopee hoodie. Right now, the weather's starting to turn for me. I'm about to head to LA, and so it's Ranger panty time. Don't tell my wife. GMR Gold, subscription-based gold right now in front of me. I just got a bunch of silver quarters. I got some silver dollars. I got all kinds of cool things. I'm going to take them home to the kids, and we're going to check them all out. I even got a nice little fancy gold piece. Beautiful looking motherfucker. I love it. You guys check them out whenever you get a chance. GMR. Oh my God, I just threw up in my mouth. GMRgold.com. Hit them up. Bullion box, $100, $200, $300 subscription-based boxes delivered straight to your freaking house. I recommend you try it. Right now is a good time to be collecting on some gold and some precious metals because you never fucking know. Thinking of that, I'm watching a really cool show on Netflix that talks about gold. Either way, Lead Singer's Whiskey. You guys already know we're doing Lead Singer's Whiskey hand sanitizer. It's not a whiskey. It's hand sanitizer. Hit them up. You already know. Info at leadsingerswhiskey.com. If you guys want to order a case, if your fire department, your police department, your medical facilities, anyone's looking for hand sanitizer, well, if we can supply it for you, we would love to. Go check it out. Warfighter Tobacco, they'll ship you cigars directly to your freaking house. You're going to love it. They got some great cigars. I love them. I'm probably going to smoke one tonight. Alpha Elite Supplements. Go check them out. Rocco15 for a discount, 15% off. Don't forget my nonprofit, Hero Sports. It's the best. We do sports. If you guys are interested in doing sport anywhere near you, let me know. We want to kind of grow and branch this out. So hit up Hero Sports. We can do a lot for you guys. I promise you. Last but not least, yo, easy no seller. That's from a rap song. Barry Law. I want you guys to check out Barry Law because seriously, Barry Law is doing some cool stuff for the community. And these are legitimate veterans who are, it's veterans who are lawyers, right? It's founded by a team of veterans for veterans dedicated to serving the fellow veterans in their fight for disability benefits. Going through the VA appeal process can be a difficult and confusing time, but you don't have to do it alone. Go hit them up. If you guys want a free book, please go hit this up and get your free book. You might as well get your damn book. Go to ptsdlawyers.com/Rocco. There's a story on there for you. Talks about me. Hit them up. You guys, here's the podcast.
What up? See, this is what I did wrong already. I'm so loud. It's already rolling. We're rolling. I'm so loud that I have to put this filter in front, or else I'm gonna.
You got the pop filter?
Yeah, dude. Because
I've got one, but I don't use it because I found out the Beats microphone is better than the crappy little.
Yeah, you spend $100 on one of these piece of shits, and they're too sensitive.
Exactly.
That's what I need to go get one of those setups. What up? All right, Zeke, my man Zeke here on the Vinny Rock podcast, dude. We met. We actually started talking more when you were the host of the show for Discovery Channel. What was that name called? Master of Arms.
Master of Arms. Yep. It was
and funny how. Like, I think I've seen you throughout social media. We kind of dabble in the same spaces. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I see the show going on. I see you. I'm like, holy fuck. And we talked, too. You said, hey, I got something going on. It's pretty exciting. I'm like, fuck yeah, man. Good shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm releasing a show soon called Brothers in Arms on the History Channel. You're releasing a show called fucking Master of Arms on Discovery Channel, and I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. We're gonna be competing against each other just based on the fucking names are close. Yeah, or fucking stupid. They, whatever it says, arms and arms are all the same thing, and so it was kind of a funny thing. We both went through a very similar struggle with television and contracts, and I guess like I guess false promises. Yeah. Big letdowns in the it's just a weird world of film and television and how it all works, but that's how we started connecting more.
Yeah I think the first time we ever interacted was like 7 years ago when I had the Talking Lead podcast with Marty, and we had Matt on, and we were doing this like select fire. We were trying different styles, and we started using the Google Hangouts, and Matt's on, and then JT sits down, and then you and I can't remember who else walked, and y'all sat on the couch in the back, and y'all were like bouncers. I was like, who's the big guys in the back? And Matt's like, oh yeah, it's just my entourage, Yeah. So that was like the first interaction we ever had. And then, like you said, kind of in the same circles, crossing paths at SHOT Show or whatever else we had. And then one of the coolest things that I wanted to bring up is, I get this TV show. Like my entire life, I always dreamed of being an actor or doing something in media. That's why I did the Talking Lead and podcasts and all this other stuff. And you give me a call. I'll never forget. I was at a steakhouse, and you're like, giving me encouragement, telling me different, tips and advice. Yeah, man, if we could do some cross promotion. That's when you're like, well,
Discovery and history don't mix.
They don't mix at all. I mean, really, our show was forged in fire with guns and archery added to it.
Oh, for sure. 100%. And that's, I don't know how many of those shows will work when you just kind of take from another show and try and recreate it. It just doesn't, it's not a built for success already.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, you had built-in trolls before the first episode.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Dude, and so did I. My show, right? Like originally when I pitched my show, it was meant to be a fun dude show, man. Like flying helicopters, shooting things out of the helicopter, freaking flamethrowers, freaking just ridiculously fun, blowing shit up, building cool stuff. Yeah. And obviously, you lose control when you take it to network, and network kind of put their spin to it, and it lost all its originality of what I wanted. And it became, this fabricated version of me, which I hate, right? I hate having to play the game. It became a blessing when the show didn't get picked up for season 2 and got pulled off the air after 5 episodes. It was a blessing, because I was like, as much as I saw life changing dramatically, if it was a success, I would have always had to play a weird version of myself and not the authentic side.
Yeah.
And that hurts.
It's weird how they do that too,
because they think they know what works, but it's like, you guys are a lot older than our world of social media entertainment side of life that we've grown accustomed to and kind of understand better.
Right.
They're grown accustomed to the old school version of television that wasn't digital. And dude, me and Eli, I mean, we're a social media freaking beast if you let us free.
Yeah.
And we created multiple different social media plans and ideas to freaking behind the scenes, caveats to it in episodes, all this different stuff. And they kept saying, no. It was too uncomfortable an idea for them.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm speaking about that.
Well, and I even told them, we would have sit downs with the producers and they'd be like, we want you to be more straight laced and stuff. And I'm like, dude, some of the comedy that we're throwing out to these contestants, we had the cameramen like buckled over laughing.
Yeah.
All of it got cut out and they edited. I was this robotic game show host. And I'm like, I didn't do that like that. They'd show one move of me like saying something. And then all of a sudden I'd watch it. And then that move started. And then other lines I said throughout the show were happening. I'm like, that's not when I said that.
It's the weirdest thing, dude, because they cut out a lot of the organic, honest stuff in my life and my personality, and they put in the fabricated, like, oh man, how are we going to get this to work? Look, man, I have 5 dudes who know what they're doing, not me, but my gunsmiths know what they're doing. I'm not worried about that shit, dude. All I wanted them to build it, what I thought was fucking cool. Let's go fucking shoot this thing, and I'm gonna throw some social media behind it, and we're gonna fucking sell more, or we're just gonna get like fucking a lot of views, right? It was just about like having a good time. Yeah, and I had to fight for. Did you watch the show at all? Did you get?
I watched all 5 of them.
So there's a scene with my daughter, and she wanted to quit wrestling. She did for a minute, but that was such a real scene, and they wanted to cut it.
What?
You're not cutting that shit out. Like this is a day-to-day fight with me and her about like what's she gonna do. This girl's like, she's ranked. She's a state champ currently. Like, nice. An incredible wrestler for years, bro. And she goes, nah, I don't want to wrestle no more. And it's this weird time as a dad where you're like, wait a minute, you're this to just give it up and go try anything else? Let's talk about it. Yeah. And caught that scene where she cried because she knew she was going to wrestling practice. And they were like, I don't know. I'm like, fucking use it. Yeah. It was real. Like, why the fuck? We're doing reality TV or we're doing scripted. Like, let's fucking remember this. And me and the line producer, we fought for it, man. And it's this funny thing that network itself is ran by a lot of elders. Like, I would say elders, and you're talking 50s, 60s, 50s, 60s range, maybe late 40s. And they all have their own opinion on what is going to be successful, but no one really has the fucking answer. There is no actual like algorithm that's going to be like, this show's going to be a success. Yeah. They're just trying to trust what's happened in the past and trying to keep it on that path, which is like, exactly. I get it. It's the safe bet, but fuck, man. I mean, why do you think a lot of networks are having trouble right now? Because digital platforms are taking over and they're taking fucking major risks, dude.
Well, I think the biggest thing is with social media now, people's bullshit meter is off the charts. Bro, they know when stuff's fake now.
You know what I tell people, dude? Yeah. And Zeke, you're going to know this, right? Yeah. When we first started doing social media, the outlandish and fake and bullshit was the best. Yes. And years later, we're like, oh, that's fake. It's not even interesting.
People figure it out.
Yeah, we're like, that's not even fucking cool anymore. Fuck, that's fabricated bullshit. Where's the real motherfuckers now?
Yes, exactly.
We're all searching for that truth now, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. The weirdest thing to me from the show was, I laid that out to him. I'm like, people's bullshit meter is off the charts. Let us be us. Like Nick had these little bitty parts on the show. He was like our final tester. He was the surprise ranger guy.
He was your expert.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, they barely showed the stuff he said or his input after he tested the weapon. And then all of a sudden, boom, we flipped. And it's just the 3 of us talking.
Yeah, which is weird because you would want to get the expert information. And people who don't know Nick is Nick Irving. He's also known as Reaper 33, one of the books he wrote about. He's a well-known sniper in the special operations community. And he's an incredible writer for nonfiction or fiction novels, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, fiction. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, you want to get the words of advice from a guy who's kind of known for shooting.
Yeah, exactly. He would just test them, and every now and then we'd have like a quick little blurb of his input.
Yeah.
And boom, it's like
there's a reason.
Judging the final. Yeah.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
I believe that network television has a vision of what they believe they should be seeing on TV, and some things they don't feel visually fits the bill. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of issues with me being tattooed, right? As much as tattooed as I am, right? Exactly. Yeah. It's always like, I wore a V-neck once, bro. Before the show aired, I wore a V-neck, and I took a picture and posted it. They said, "Hey, you think you can take that down for just a few more weeks?" I'm like, no, I'm not. And I fought with them. And then I moved my family from fucking El Paso to Texas, and I wore a tank top because it's hot outside.
Yeah.
And now you see everything, the full chest blasted, Right. And I posted a picture again. I said, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not fucking touching my social media. You're not paying me enough to fucking control my social media. Now, if you're paying me fucking $200,000 a year, I'm going to say, all right, I'll play the game for a little bit.
Exactly.
But they're not,
Yeah.
And so it was this weird space where like, I have to play the game because I do want the show to air because in my head, after season 1, if it was a fucking great success, renegotiations of contracts, I gain control again.
Yep.
That's in my head. I'm like, all right, I'll gain control if this is a success. And dude, if you look at the numbers, the +3s and +7s, it was a success.
Yes. Same with us.
It was a success, but it was just the gun conversation is such a sensitive subject in America. Mm-hmm. Did you know they released it overseas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, I'm getting messages from fucking Brazil. I'm getting messages from fucking
huge in South America. And I'm like, how is this still rolling? I'm like, well, I was told we didn't get renewed. And then all of a sudden, like I've got, messages in Portuguese. I'm like, can you translate in English? Because I don't know what you just said.
Dude, it's funny. It's funny. Crazy. And I got a lot of shit for that show too, because people are like, this bullshit, this isn't like, bro, it's television. If you shot a sniper rifle at a car, it doesn't blow up. It doesn't. No, but we made sure it did.
Well, there's one episode we did. It was a flintlock grenade launcher, right? Like the pirates used to use, and it was a real weapon, right? Yeah. But they figured out it was too dangerous with like cannonballs. So what they started doing was just lighting, tar covered balls and shooting at sails. That's what they used it for. So what we did on the show is we painted a tennis ball black,
nice,
lit a fuse to it, and Nick shot it over this fake little ship.
Yeah.
And people were like, how did y'all get away with doing like explosives like that? I'm like, dude, it's a painted tennis ball. They had a pyrotechnics guy behind the ship that made it look like it blew up.
Yeah, bro. We even said it. Like, I made sure on one of the videos, like, we put a bunch of tannerite and gasoline in there. Let's see it low. And they would cut those out, dude.
Yeah.
And they would cut. I'm like, I'm not telling the line person, I said, bro, we all know the truth. And like my world of dudes are going to look at me like I'm full of shit, but I'm trying to do right by saying, look, the house is filled with fucking explosives. Like,
exactly.
And so then it's CYA for me, right? Because like people are like, you're full of shit. Like, no, dude, it's TV. But like, I can shoot a fucking round right through a house, and it's not exciting.
Yeah.
But my mom was like, oh my God, Vinny, that was crazy.
The one that was weird, and it was obvious it was a History versus Discovery Channel thing. The same week we did the blunderbuss,
bro, we did it.
Y'all did the blunderbuss. I was like, they're really going head to head with this thing.
Yeah, and here's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
We filmed 10 episodes, and then as they got chose to air, they chose from which was the least boring to the most exciting.
Yeah.
Or kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
And by chance, we lined up Blunderbuss. I said, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah.
But I'm so far removed from this shit by now because I'm already like, fuck it, I'm on Mayans. I'm out of here, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, whatever happens there, I don't give a fuck. I'm on Mayans. like fuck that show. I was so mad, dude.
That was crazy.
So I've even hit them up about, like, I would love to work on something with history. All right, you know how TV is. It would be interesting to jump on something different that made sense for me. Mail call or something. I want to still be in the military space at times, but I just don't want to be in the military douchey fucking space that show was turning into.
Yeah, yeah. Where they're making all the military guys just to be gun crazy, nothing else but gun stuff.
Bro, it's like we had this really cool idea for, and I've seen someone build it now, which is a bolt action M4. Yeah. A bolt action AR-15. I think it's beautiful. I wanted to create one.
Yeah.
And they shut us down. They're like, nothing to do with an AR-15 right now. And I'm like, man, you guys misconception of what it is what's hurting the show. And it was hurting things, whatever the case. But that's here nor there, dude. What are you doing? What are you doing now, brother?
That's fun.
I'm fighting through the official shadow ban I figured out on social media.
No shit. For what?
So it was weird, right? With Talking Lead, I built that to about 10,000 followers on Instagram. With the former school I used to work for, we were pushing like 15, 18,000. And right before the show, I kind of just did my own little personal Instagram. But I'd never worked it, never did anything with it. It was just for me to monitor shit. And then the show hits. And with the +3s and everything, we were getting 1.2, 1.4 million viewers a week, which is huge for cable television.
Yeah.
And I kept looking at my Instagram and it wasn't growing. And so then me and Ashley, one of the co-hosts on the show, we had Breach Bang Clear do a post. They were like 100,000 people. He just posted a picture of me and her. And all he said was, go follow Zeke and Ashley now. That is all. She only gained 9 followers. I lost 4. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. And so then I really started trying to grow it throughout the dates that the show was airing. Yeah. And it just wasn't happening. I'm like, this is freaking weird. So then a buddy of mine, have you heard of McDojo Life? He posts all the like fake martial arts guys.
Yes, yeah.
I think he's like at 250,000 followers or something like that. And he goes, dude, you've been shadow banned. I was like, how do I know if I do that? He goes, find a hashtag and use that hashtag for a bunch of posts. And then after you've used it for a while, go search that hashtag and see if your most recent post shows up. So I did that. It wasn't showing up. And I'm like, oh my God. It was just
And you think that's because of the gun conversation?
Gun stuff. It was just like, I had talked to a few people about doing some movie stuff and TV stuff, and they were excited about it, and all that stuff was going on. And then I got a call one day, and they're like, hey, man, we just really don't know if they're going to want you to be in this part with this. I was like, well, why? And they're like, well, you got so much gun stuff on your social media. And I'm like, dude, if they talk to me about the rest of my politics, it would probably align with a lot of what they say.
It's a very, very
one thing. Yeah.
Very, very touchy. And I would even tread on it lightly myself because of the fact that you have to, in a sense, to play the game. I'd say that, right? We have to play the game. Exactly. The powers that be have way more control than we do about the social media stuff. Dude, I don't know if I've ever been shadow banned. My social media grows. I know for about last year at some point it kind of slowed down a lot, but I stopped trying to pay attention to it because it eats me alive when I'm like, what the fuck? So I just fuck. When social media controls me like that, fuck them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not fair also to be controlled because you like guns.
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
It's weird, man. I even had a conversation with one of our execs from Discovery, and they were like, the AR-15, this. And I kind of looked at him, and I was like, you see the beard, you hear the little country accent. I'm originally from Texas. I've lived most of my life in Tennessee.
Yeah.
You see the tattoos, and I'm a gun guy. I bet you assume that, I'm just this crazy, extremist gun guy. And he was like, well, I was like, you're wrong, man. If you ask me questions about everything else, we would probably align on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's that one issue that's that sticking point with a lot of people.
And it's weird because I think the conversation is their lack of information and their lack of willingness to understand or learn it is what raises a lot of the fear. I think it's a lot of fear is what it is. They think like, wow, I'm more afraid of people with guns that don't train.
Exactly.
Right. That's my big thing. I tell people all the time, like, look, go out and buy a gun. Okay. But I hope you're also training with this fucking gun because
and your concealed carry course does not count.
Yeah, bro. That's the thing is there's a big difference between I got a gun. Like, do you cause I see how you treat it. I see how you carry it.
Teacup in it,
bro. So it's this thing, even my own brother, he got the call, right? He goes, hey bro, I got this new gun. I'm like, oh, cool. Boom. Calls him. I said, dude, nothing's worse than a dude with a gun who doesn't train.
Yes.
And he goes, I get it. I said, I'm serious, bro. I said, I'll fucking pay for classes. I'll find a dude that I trust out there in Arizona. And he's got a good buddy that works in the fire department that's taking care of him. They own AZ guns out there. But it's like, you cannot be my brother without me fucking telling you, go train. Because the worst people are the ones that just buy the gun and be like, dude, I got all these guns. Yeah, but you shoot like a fucking idiot. Now you're the liability in the room, dude.
Yeah. But it's wild because I'll never forget the first defensive firearms course I took outside of the concealed carry course was with two SF guys. One was 20th group, and now the other ones was SOCOM.
Do they have a course, a school?
They were going to, but then they kind of like squashed the whole thing. We were
because it's saturated as fuck market right now, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So all of a sudden, it's like we're getting these pointers and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, I would have died. Like if I ever would have got, because in the concealed carry course, you're in a stall at a range, standing still. You're taking the magazine out and laying it down gingerly and picking another one up.
It's the most controlled environment you're ever going to have.
I know nothing about the concealment versus cover. I knew nothing about moving while reloading.
Well, yeah. So you're in the Air Force. Yeah. Let me update some of the listeners. You're in the Air Force for a short amount of time. You got injured.
Very short.
But you enlisted. I want to make sure you know that how much I do appreciate the attempt and the effort. Right. Yeah, that's still huge. There's a lot of people out there don't even make that effort.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that people don't realize get injured. And it's okay. If you get removed from the military for injuries, that's out of your fucking grasp. You can't do nothing about it. So I appreciate that you even took that effort, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah. It's like on paper, I'm a veteran, right? I've got in the Guard, you get it's not a DD-214, but you have a DD-214, but then you have this other paperwork.
The other paper's called,
another bunch of numbers. And letters. But it's weird because on paper, I'm a veteran because I swore in the end of January of 2009, but I never went to basic until late October. Well, once you swear in, you sign your contract, you still got to go to Guard duty every other weekend.
Yes, you're still doing your drill.
Yes, but because we hadn't gone to training, all we're allowed to do is private. Yeah. So it's like, oh my God. So for almost a year, that's all I did. Then I go to training. And I was like one of the sick fuckers that loved it because I'm 33 years old. At the time, I was doing triathlons. Yeah. My ex-wife, who was my wife at the time, the drill instructors didn't hold a candle to her. It's like they're sitting there, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, y'all are easy.
Yeah.
Keeping the military bearing and everything.
That's how I was. Yeah. My dad was worse.
What was wild is I was 5 years older than the oldest drill instructor we had.
Oh, shit. So, you took all the heat.
Oh, yeah. It was from the first day I was the dorm chief, all this other stuff.
That's so funny.
But about the third or fourth week, they started calling me into their office. It's like, Stout, get in here. I'm like, running there. And they're like, all right, dude, this weekend, we want to take the weekend off. We need you to do this, this, and this. I was like, all right, got it. Cool. And then I'd go back out and they just wanted me to be them when they weren't there.
Yeah. They need a daddy in there so they can watch the kids so they can go take home with their families and shit. People don't realize it's. I don't know about the Air Force. I'm pretty sure the Air Force is built very similar to my basic training as a drill sergeant for the Army. But dude, during cycle, you're fucking busy and you don't get a lot of time with your family. And so those weekends are actually pretty important for your families. And sometimes you don't even get weekends. And so anytime you get that chance, it comes up to the training. You're like, hey, big guys, get over here. Boom, boom, boom. I trust you motherfuckers. Don't fuck around. I'm going home for 6 hours, motherfuckers. 6 hours. Give me that. You know what I mean?
So funny story. Apparently, and this could have, how sometimes they'll tell you bullshit just to hype you up.
Yeah.
Apparently, no flight had been left alone on their first weekend outside of 0 week ever at Lackland. Because I asked them one day when they made me dorm chief, I was like, what do you want me to do? And they're like, be us. Okay, I turned around and I was tearing these kids' asses up. I was just like, this is fun. And I'm screaming. And then the first weekend we were there after 0 week, they left us alone. And when I was getting separated, because it was the 7th week when I got hurt, and they were like, dude, I don't know what we're going to do. Like, we've never been able to leave anybody alone on the first weekend. You had these guys squared away, et cetera. And I was like, oh shit. But it was cool because I've actually stayed in touch with some of those guys.
That's cool.
Guys.
Yeah.
But what's wild, you being a drill instructor, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Y'all are like psychologists. Y'all know every way to break every type of personality type. And with me, the yelling didn't work. I held military bearing with the jokes. Yeah. The physical fitness stuff didn't work. And about the 3.5 weeks in, I'll never forget it. All of a sudden they're like, all right, you got EC duty tonight. Okay. So I did it. Next night, yeah, we're going to have you have EC duty again. I'm like, what? And for people who don't know, it's entry control. You stay up all night watching the door. And then
it's like staff duty for us. Staff duty or CQ.
Yeah. So, it happened 2 nights in a row. Then third night, at this point, I had 2 hours of sleep in 3 days. And I'll never forget, the only place that was private in the dorm is you walk around the corner where these benches were, where the showers were. I walked around, I sat down, and I lost it. I just started bawling like a fucking baby. I'm like, what is wrong? I'm not sad. I'm not angry. I'm just crying. And I was broken.
Just exhausted.
And the next day at PT that morning, they start building me up. And I'm like, so when that little meeting we had where they're like, man, we appreciate everything you did. We got to let you go. I asked them, I was like, how did y'all know? I was like, nobody saw me cry. Nobody saw me break down. And he's like, dude, that next morning we saw it in your face.
Yeah.
And we knew that we can start building you back up.
Yeah, it's interesting, man, because they don't teach you any of that in your drill sergeant school. They don't teach you psychology of it all. They don't. No, dude. Like
it's just like
not in the Army one, but it's like you learn things from like your superiors, you know what I mean? You learn things from other drill sergeants, and you learn shit that you don't want to do to privates. There's some shitty fucking drill sergeants out there that power fucking mongers. They just want the power and they just want to crush your soul, and it makes them feel good. It makes their dick feel big. But it's and I'm being serious, right? Yeah. And those are shitty drill sergeants, man, because they don't realize what they're actually doing. You're training soldiers and airmen and Marines and seamen to go to war. Right. Yeah. Like we're training him for the fight. And so if you don't treat with that respect, you're fucking not doing your job, but there's definitely times where guys, you had to fucking find a way to break them down to fucking, all right, dude, knock the walls down and let us in. Yeah. Let us teach you how to be a fucking soldier. You know what I mean? And everyone's different, dude. I tell people that all the time. I learned that in Ranger school being in Ranger school with fucking my platoon. And you have your little squad, right? You start off with a squad. It's like a team that goes squad and platoon. Yeah. How the fuck do you motivate all these motherfuckers that are tired and hungry and broke to fucking complete a mission for my grade? Like they gotta like me to fucking work hard for me. Right. And so you gotta find a way to kind of break everyone down in some aspect, mentally understand them. Dude, there was this officer, I swear to you, bro. I picked him up off the ground. I slammed him. I picked him up. I shook him. And I said, I swear to you, I'm gonna fuck you up if you don't fucking stay the fuck awake. And the dude stayed awake. And he never was mad. He needed that, bro. He needed that, right? And then one of my Ranger buddies like, hey, dog, you got me, I got you. I don't have to worry about you. I'm gonna go deal with these other motherfuckers. Like, you got it. You know what I mean? And so once you know how everyone ticks and what it takes for them to just be motivated for that moment, bro, it's a fucking win. And I used to do this as soon as I got all my soldiers, I was like watching them all like, fuck, I got to figure these guys out because I want them all to find success, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. That becomes a really hard task in this drill sergeant if you give a fuck, right? Some don't even give a fuck.
Right. Well, and it's funny, kind of a callback to the TV show stuff is how the network, like I said, on paper, I'm a veteran, but I never try to get benefits from it or like discounts or anything like that. Just because in my mind, and I know a lot of people have said, hey, dude, you signed up, you swore in, you tried.
It's your prerogative, right?
But I don't feel, because I know people like you and Nick and Jim and all these people, I'm like, I'm not going to claim that. I didn't, I tried, but I didn't do the level of stuff like that. But the network was like, hey, can we talk about the Air Force? I was like, no. And they're like, well, why not? You got paperwork. It was honorable discharge. I was like, dude, my 1 year in the Air Guard in 2 years on a TV show becomes Zeke was in the Air Force for 4 years. And then a year later, Zeke was pararescue. And then he was TAC P. And then he was attached to a SEAL regiment. All this stuff starts happening. I'm like, then all of a sudden I don't pay attention and stolen valor. I'm like, whoa, what the? Bro, I was like, you don't want to do that.
They had me as war hero.
Yeah.
Army Ranger. I'm like, bitch, you are not going to call me a fucking war hero. That is like the weirdest shit, dog. Yeah. I don't see a war hero. I think even Medal of Honor recipients would be uncomfortable being called a war hero. You know what I'm saying? And I'm fucking nowhere near that shit, dude. So like when they said war hero, I'm like, yo, dude, you guys got to watch what you do. You're going to fucking really fuck up my career by calling me some shit that I never said. I'm a fucking Army Ranger, bro. That is all I ever claimed. 3 combat deployments. You know what I mean? I'm an infantry. That's it. That's all you get. You know what I mean? they want to embellish it to sound this fucking prettier. And you're like, don't do that, dude. Like, you're going to fuck with my world. And that's not a place that's forgiving when you start saying some random ass shit.
Yeah. Well, I told them, they were like, well, what if we put it in your bio? I was like, you put it in my bio. I want to document that I told you this, what will happen.
Yeah.
That way, when it comes back to me that Zeke's going around saying he was TAC-P and all this other shit, I can say, nope. I said that started because they wanted to talk about, you know, my 1 year in the Air Guard, and I never claimed any of this stuff. The closest thing that actually it was the first time I ever hung out with Jim Irwin. The closest thing I ever came to like being a part of that community. We were at NRA and we got invited to the cigar brandy party. Right.
Nice.
And it was me, Jim Irwin, who of course is Delta, 2 SEALs, an NFL player, and I think it was another Army Ranger. I don't remember who it was. But we're all lined up, and these congressmen are walking by, right? And there's the 2 SEALs, me, Jim, and then the NFL player, a couple other people, and they're shaking hands. I didn't know like the terminology of like the special operations community or whatever. So they're talking to them. The congressman gets to me. He's like, "Hey, man. What team were you on?" I was like, I played a little college basketball. And dude, the guys fell out. I'm looking around going, what's going on? They're like, dude, you're tattooed. You got a beard. You're tall. They think you're a SEAL. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not.
That is so funny.
I was like, I played a little college basketball. And dude, Jim has never let me live that down, man. It's hilarious.
I've had some beers with Jim before. He was a Ranger first, then went Delta. Yeah, so he's a good dude. He is a good dude. Dude, so we were talking about you did some training. You were doing some training with some special forces dudes. Yeah. And how different it is shooting from inside a box to actually going out and doing some real shooting.
Night and day.
Yeah, that's. Night and day. I try to tell people that it's like, think about, it's a controlled environment when you're shooting in a box, and then it's like, let me go hit the mitts at a boxing gym. And then it's like, now go step in the ring and fight some dude.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a whole different world.
Yeah, once you get punched in the face, everything changes.
Everything changes. So, dude, now what are you working on? You guys became, and your company now has become a sponsor of my podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I'm super excited about, dude, and I appreciate you guys even giving me a chance.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. So I'm the chief marketing officer, director, and part owner of Modern Gun School now.
That's great.
Before the TV show, I was executive vice president of a different online gunsmithing college. So I know the ins and outs of it. Spent 8 months away from it. I went into the motorcycle industry for a little while. But I just had the itch. Like, I wanted to get back into it. And I reached out to Modern Gun School. We negotiated some stuff, and now I'm rocking it out with them. And then we've got another sister school called Blackstone Career Institute, where we've got like paralegal and allied health stuff, all that stuff going on. But it's a distance learning gunsmithing program. So we send out tools. You get to keep the tools. You get these.
So I can do it all from home.
Yeah, all from home. You could.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, the hands-on projects are pretty intensive. Like, there's stock finishing, precision filing, silver soldering, hand tool fabrication. You fabricate your own hand tools, and then you turn in pictures of stuff, and we grade it based off that. It's at your own pace too. I mean, you have up to 2 years to complete it, but if you know your stuff and you're pushing through it, you can do it in 6 months to a year.
No shit.
Yeah.
The GI Bill covers this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. GI Bill and VA. Both.
So the what do they call it? The Voc Rehab program. Do they cover that?
Yeah.
No shit.
That's what it is. That's
something I still have the Voc Rehab, and I'm trying to figure out. I tried to do barbering, but I have this fucked up back, and so they denied that.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to see if they'll cover music producing.
Nice.
Or film editing, something in the film music world that I'm like fucking having fun in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just so that's what I'm thinking of, trying to go to school and do something. I mean, I'm so busy, I don't know how, but I need a distance learning kind of concept so I can do.
Yeah.
And I would love to do some kind of editing film or something like that. But like, now you got me curious about this. I mean, that's kind of cool to be a gunsmithing.
It's really a fun course because you'll learn some of the history of different things. You'll learn, like, we legally, because we're accredited.
Yeah.
Can't talk about courses that we're working on specifically, but we're working on some stuff that will help on the customization side.
Good. Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, because that's a huge market now. I mean, gunsmithing is a dying art in general.
Well, there is, as a gun owner, buyer, and having friends that own shops, it's like there is no money in buying guns. It's the money's in everything else you do to the gun.
Exactly.
All the mods.
Yeah, I mean, Cerakoting, stippling, all this stuff.
Trigger pressuring, sights, freaking slings, freaking, like everything else besides the actual rifle or whatever you're buying. My fucking Glock is hooked up. I went to Agency Arms. It's a buddy of mine. And I got the thing hooked up, and that thing is the dopest thing ever, bro.
Yeah.
I can't even recognize the original gun. I didn't give a shit with the original. I want to see what it looks like. You know what I mean? And now
it's badass, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A buddy of mine that's doing personal protection for a friend of mine, he's got an agency that he just got, and it's badass. I'm like, wow.
Dude.
That's impressive.
There's like 6 or 7 companies out there that do very similar work, but it's like, Agency Arms is what I use, and I like it. But there's pros and cons to everything, but I love them. I love them. What they do, the people who own the company, they've been good to me. Yeah. And fuck, dude, it's like Transformers for guns, dude.
Yeah.
That's where the money is, dude. And if you guys are building courses that are going to teach people potentially stuff like this, like that's where it's at, dude. I have a guy doing Cerakote to my rifle right now.
Well, and old school gunsmiths, they would basically, the reason they were called gunsmiths, they would smith their own parts. That's dead. You can go on brownells.com and order any part you need for any gun in the world.
And so lathing new parts, it's all there.
Yeah, so people are having to pivot, just like businesses are pivoting with this whole quarantine thing. And they're pivoting as gunsmiths to being more customization guys, make stuff more, accurizing or stippling, any of that stuff.
Yeah, and that's where it's going. And then you say it's credited. For maybe someone doesn't understand it, that means that like legit college credits for it and certifications?
Yeah, so in the past, there used to be correspondence schools where it's like, get your degree or certificate in this. And as the education department started seeing where, basically you're like 2 + 2 is 4. Good job. Here's your degree.
Yeah.
They didn't learn anything, so they started cracking down on that. And there's still those out there. But if you get accredited, you have an accrediting body that comes in and looks at all your curriculum, make sure it's legit. We have an advisory council that we have to have of gunsmiths and manufacturers where they look at everything. If we're doing changes, we always run that stuff through them. So it's legit stuff that they're learning. As I'm going through it, there's a few things I'm like, all right, we're pulling out the BB gun paragraph there.
We're gonna take out the slingshot.
Yeah, some things you can't really consider firearms, but it looks like a gun. No. That's but cool. So it's looking at different things constantly. It's a constantly fluid, changing market. So we have to be on top of it all the time. And the accrediting body, we have this site visit and they go through everything with a fine tooth comb to make sure it's legit.
And do you guys have an actual brick and mortar location?
Just our offices. There's not like a school that people go to.
Right.
Now, long term, I want that. I want to get to the point where we have the online course, but then if somebody wants to come and have more hands-on, then we'll have that brick and mortar. One thing that I am working on standing up now is like an apprenticeship program.
Oh, cool.
So our graduates, we're going to partner with a bunch of manufacturers, a bunch of shops, a bunch of customizing people all over the country. So our graduates, or even people that are in the final stages of their course, can link up with these people, go do a couple of weeks with them apprenticeship, get that hands-on that they're looking for outside of our hands-on projects, and then get some experience and references and possibly even a job if the company likes them.
Yeah. Well, let me know if you have anyone that's in the school that's getting close to that in the Utah space, because I have a lot of
absolutely
here. I'd love to try and get them. I know a couple guys are doing some cool stuff. So
absolutely.
Hell yeah, dude. So where does someone go right now? If one of you guys listening is like, I want to check this out, I want to look into it, where do they go?
They go to MGS.edu, or they can go to any of the social medias and type in Modern Gun School. And then if they're interested in like the allied health and paralegal stuff, it's just blackstone.edu.
So later, shoot me a text with all those links, because I'm going to put them onto this podcast, man.
Yeah, I'll do it, man.
Well, dude, it's freaking great to fucking catch up with you, man. So any plans for film and television anymore?
I want to. I did hear a little rumor about your little franchise where they might be coming out with a, Jax's Kids Grown Up series spinoff. So
it's a little weird right now because Kurt got fired, and so
what?
yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know where that's going to go. And you're 6 foot, aren't you like 6'5"?
6'7".
6'7". That's going to make life hard for you as an actor.
Dude.
I try and tell people this. Like I have another buddy, Jeff Bosley.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a special forces guy, ex-special forces dude, 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
And he's having a hell of a time trying to find work. I mean, he gets this work and he's trained. He's got everything you can think of, man. But the dude is also 6'5".
Yeah.
And in the casting room, it's like, okay, the lead actor is 5'7".
Yep.
This isn't going to work out with the guy who's 6'7". It just doesn't work.
So one of the coolest moments / slam me into the ground with my face was the casting company took my audition for Master of Arms and took a headshot and sent it to a movie company or production company, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this guy's great. And then they're like, cool. How tall is he? 6'7". Oh.
Dude,
it's like I can be the guy that beats up the good guy in every movie, and then ends up killing me somehow. I'd be willing to do that stuff. But it's an interesting dynamic. And it actually led to me starting a script where it's like, all these big guys that are stuntmen, like
great idea. That's a fucking great idea to write the script that makes sense. Yeah,
where we're like the big guys. We always want to be in the movies, be the characters. And then something happens where all these short guys, turn out to be pansies or whatever. And we're like, well, we'll handle the shit. And then it kind of becomes this action movie where, somebody like Tom Cruise or some short actor is the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
And it's all these big giant guys that are like, dude.
It's a genius way. Like, people don't think like that. I love the fact that you thought like that. Like, there's no better way. Like, look, if you're having trouble this way, do it another way. It's like, look, you're having trouble getting anything because you're 6'7". We'll write a fucking script where everyone's 6'7".
Yeah, exactly.
Boom, bitch. Yeah. Now we're all in. You know what I mean? Like, I've been working on scripts for myself for my own acting and trying to show the range because I get offered a lot of bad guy shit, right? Yeah. And I don't take a lot of bad guy shit because I'm like, that's not the goal here, right? Because when you start seeing me as Danny Trejo, everyone's going to see me as Danny Trejo, and I don't want to be Danny Trejo, right?
Right.
Love the dude.
Yeah.
I want to show acting range.
Yeah.
And I recently took a role that they took a chance. They're like, hey, man, would you want to do this? I'm like, fuck yes, let's go. And it's this really beautiful role. It's on a movie that we're hopefully going to release in December. I'm an executive producer on this thing. Nice. And it shows sides of me as an actor that no one gets to see in Mayans. And so I'm like, finally, I get to play a character that doesn't look like the freaking asshole in the room all the time. And so, and that's what I've been working on the script as well for myself to be like, let me show you the range of an actor that I am or that I can be, that no one gives me the opportunity because I look the way I look.
Well, and it's funny, like I binge watched season 2 a couple weeks ago of Mayans. Dude, you got shot, you got stabbed. Didn't you almost get blown up? I'm like, damn. But it's funny because like I watched some of the comments on whether it's your social media or other stuff about the Mayans, and you're almost kind of becoming this Daryl from Walking Dead where it's like, you can't kill off Rocco. You can't do it. It's like, you're like, you have this badass look, but then you have that soft side in the show and people are like, oh no, he's cool. You can't kill him off.
I'm trying to tell them the same. I'm trying to tell Network the same. You can't kill me. I got kids, goddammit.
Yeah, exactly.
No, man. They see me putting in the work. And I hope, it's really playing the game as well as just being professional and paying respects to it. Like I'm just sitting back when they believe it's time for me to have a bigger part. Cool. If they think I should just stay this way for a couple of years, cool. Like I'm blessed to be a part of just such a cool show. Yeah. I'm learning every day. I'm on set. I'm soaking in everything I can to take with me in the future of my career. And that's just the only approach I can have. Because if I was trying to big league and be this big Hollywood guy, I could be pissed off like some people would. Yeah. Fuck no, dude. Every day I'm like, I love my job, man. And so
exactly.
I hope that when I do get the opportunity that I can show up to be the actor that they would expect me to be, and I can fucking hopefully I guess there's a little bit of weight on my shoulders in my head that I put for myself.
Yeah.
That the veteran community is kind of watching and waiting for me to do something more than just be the big scary dude and actually see some acting. And I think once that happens, I think a lot of people, it'll open the door for a lot more veterans to attempt acting. And I think they should. I think it's a healthy route. I want to start teaching acting. I want to start teaching acting, but I feel like there's so much more in acting that I'm learning.
Yeah.
But I do want to get guys their foot in the door to learning. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So.
And my favorite thing that you've done that I've seen, and I saw it on accident, is I'm sitting in the theater about to watch a movie, and you pop up on a park bench, and I was like, "That's Rocco." And then like that conversation you had with the other guy, I was like, "This is freaking brilliant." I was like, "This is awesome," and I'm like, "This was awesome," and I've only seen it once.
Yeah, we have them on YouTube, but we're gonna do more. I got a lot, man. There's a lot coming. I would love to talk to you offline about some production stuff. I think that's a route that look, if you're not getting roles as an actor, you can still create roles for other people and produce. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We should talk about something.
Yeah, most definitely.
Well, brother, I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah,
I'm one more time.
Yeah, Modern Gun School. MGS.edu, Modern Gun School on all the social medias, and then Blackstone.edu and Blackstone Career Institute on all the social medias.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's fun, man. We're proud to sponsor you. It's like one of the things I learned with my previous employer is, print media, paying for Google ads, all this stuff, it doesn't work anymore, especially if you're trying to grow. It's like go to social media, go to podcasts, go to YouTube, and hit those people up and be genuine. That's the biggest thing. It's like if you can be genuine and connect, you'll win every single time. And so like I'm sitting there scrambling, I'm going, "Oh shoot, Rocco's got a podcast." I was like, we're going there first. We're going here. We're going to these YouTube channels and stuff like that. And it just makes sense, And I think it'll help a lot, but we're proud to be sponsoring it now too. So
fuck yeah, dude. Well, dude, you have a good day, man. Stay safe on this quarantine.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right, brother.
Appreciate it.
Be safe.
All right.
And did it